Hi there YouTube, and welcome to this video. In this video I would like to talk a little bit about Windows 11, specifically the preparation for installing Windows 11. Going through various forums and news sites the last couple of days, there have been a lot of talk about the TPM requirements for Windows 11 and some of the stuff required to even run it. And I've been sorting through it, and I think somebody has gotten worked up a little bit about this. I looked into it, and if you have modern hardware, this is actually very easy. So I'm going to show you that in this video. If we start looking at the compatibility for Windows 11, there is a hard floor and a soft floor. And by the way, don't worry, I'll post all the links that you need in the description below, by the way. If we look at the hard floor requirements, these are the requirements your system must meet at minimum, otherwise Windows 11 will not install. Your CPU needs to be a dual-core system or more. It needs to have 1 GHz or more per core. It needs to be at least 4 GB of memory, at least 64 GB of storage, and it needs to be at least 1.2 TPM, and it needs to be SecureBoot capable. And then there is something down here that I have no idea what is. There is a soft floor, which is things that they would very much like to be supported, but you can work around them. You'll just get a little warning that you probably shouldn't upgrade your system. Why these requirements have been inferred, who knows? It seems to be related to security. So they're trying to keep our computers secure. That's what it's about. If we take a look at the processors that are required for it, I have here a list of supported AMD CPUs. So you can actually go through here and look up if your CPU from AMD is supported. And the same I also have for Intel processors here, and I'll post both links into the description below. So you can go here and take a look. In short, 8th generation and newer of Intel CPUs and 2000 series CPUs from AMD and upwards are both supported. And this is where the trickery comes in. This TPM thing that people is seriously worked up about is a little chip that you can put on your motherboard so that you have some additional encryption running in the background. Most CPUs, and I guess all supported CPUs, I haven't checked them all, probably all these CPUs are going to have this TPM stuff built in. I know my CPU has. I enabled it last night and it has worked like a charm. I've gone on here and found the manual for my motherboard. I have an Asus motherboard, and this is also where I'm going to show you this. But if you have a different motherboard, you might need to go find the manual. I just want to show you a little trick here. If you hold Control down and hit F, you get a little search field, and here we can search for TPM. And there we go. In my BIOS, I should have an advanced menu where the AMD FTPM configuration should be available. That means Firmware Tpm. There should be something similar for Intel. This is about all you need to get started. The only other thing you need to get started is the boot key for your BIOS. So maybe just search for BIOS and figure out how you enter BIOS. On my motherboard, it's either delete or F2. So let me just save my screen recording here and let's restart the system. All right, I'm now in the BIOS of my motherboard. My motherboard has this easy menu and this easy mode, and I can't really do this from here, so I need to enable advanced mode. For my motherboard, that's function 7, so I'll just hit that real quick. And then for my motherboard, I needed the menu advanced, so I'm just going to use the arrow keys to navigate to advanced, and there we go. AMD FTPM configuration is right there. Enter, and then I'll just go ahead and enable the firmware TPM. That means the TPM chip in my CPU is going to be enabled, and it's just going to tell me here what that means. I'm going to hit OK. And then if we later need to reset this, it just tells me here how I do that. It might be different for your motherboard if you ever need that. I don't know why you would need that, but just so that you know it's there. For SecureBoot, I'm going to show you that as well. It should be pretty similar in all motherboards. It's going to be under the boot menu, and then there should be a SecureBoot option. Here, we're going to enable Windows Uefi boot mode, and then we're going to go key management, and then we're going to go and install the default SecureBoot keys. Hit OK, and as you can see, it loaded a lot of keys. That was all we needed to do, and now we can go ahead and exit the BIOS and save the changes. So you can see it's just these two settings that are changed. Hit OK, and the system will now save the settings and restart. All right. My computer is now back up and running, and it's time to check if the settings that we just made actually made a dent. So if we click here on the search field and we type system, you should get an app called System Information. It might be called something a little different in English, but it should be this one. And if we take through this one, there should be one called SecureBoot condition or something like that. And as you can see here, mine is enabled. It should say enabled in English. It's because my system is set up in Danish. Then we need to check the TPM. So we click the search button down here. We type tpm.msc. And then we get a window here where we can verify that TPM is actually working. I'm just going to have to resize it a little. And we can see the TPM is ready for use and that I'm using version 2.0. And we can do one final check if you haven't found that little utility already. If we go back to Microsoft's website, and I'll just leave the link for this one below, but this is just where you can read all about Windows 11. There is a little tool at the bottom, check for compatibility. And if we just click download app, which I've already done, and I've already installed it as well, we'll get a little heart here that can actually check if our computer is ready to run Windows 11. And there's a little button here that says check now, and we just click that one. And there we go. My computer is now Windows 11 compatible. So now TPM SecureBoot is enabled and everything is new enough that everything should work. That's how you do it. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one.